Bottom half of the second inning as Johnny Knight will step up to the plate for the first time today. Saw Knight yesterday for one at-bat. It was a pinch hitting appearance for Knight, who struck out on 3 pitches, but he's in the lineup tonight after the Joe Lytle late scratch. As Pilarski back on the mound, he gave up 3 runs in the first inning. As the first pitch tonight is a strike. And Alex, again, we've mentioned it a couple of times, 100 years since the birth of the Negro Leagues. That was in 1920, so 1 year off. But again, last year, due to the pandemic, didn't have the night here at the ballpark. So doing it here in 2021. As the 0-1 pitch tonight is low for a ball, 1-1, but a guy that I took a lot of time today, and of course mentioned 1920 is when the Negro Leagues came to be. And again, there were leagues out there, weren't professional leagues prior to that. As the 1-1 pitch outside, a breaking ball, 2-1, but Andrew Rube Foster is the man who many credit for the start of the Negro Leagues in 1920, and his story is pretty interesting. A guy who was inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame in 1981. The 2-1 pitch tonight, hit on the ground to short. Callahan, the shortstop, has it on a couple bounces. Throw to first low, and a nice pick by Gray at first base as he almost ran into the runner Knight to make that play. There's one away. So before we get into exactly how the league was created, one really cool fact about Rube Foster is what he went by. And the reason he went by that is Foster was a pitcher back in the day. And in an exhibition game in 1902 against a major leaguer, Rube Waddle, who was a very good pitcher back in the day, he defeated him in an exhibition game. So after getting that win, he was dubbed the name Rube. So he essentially stole the name from Rube Waddle. Also a guy who's credited as the founder of the screwball, which at the time was called a fadeaway. A lot of things I learned today. As the 0-1 pitch to Tenney, kind of slap swing, thought about it, took it. It's a ball, 1-1. And the really cool thing about that screwball was John McGraw, who was a great major league manager in the early 1900s, allowed Foster to show the Hall of Famer Christy Matheson how to throw it. And Matheson eventually went to the Hall of Fame. So that was Foster. As the 2 pitch misses outside, 2 balls. Mathewson, excuse me. But either way, that was him as a player. Was dubbed as one of the best pitchers of the early 1900s and wasn't able to play in Major League Baseball. As Tenney, again with that slap swing, misses. It's 2-2. We saw him do that yesterday, got a base hit out of it. But in 1920, Foster, who was an owner of a team known as the American Giants, and a couple other owners met in Kansas City, Missouri, and created the Negro National League. And Foster, as time was called, it's still 2-2 on Tenney. Foster was an owner of the American Giants. They won the first 3 championships in the Negro National League when it was created.
Do you know where the American Giants played baseball?
I did 10 minutes ago, and now I just blanked on it. I believe it was in Chicago, wasn't it?
Correct. Chicago American Giants.
So I remember they called them it was the American Giants. They won the first 3 years, and has the count 3-2 on Rodney Tenney. We'll get to that after this pitch. Tenney lifts this one weakly into right field. Is it going to drop? It will not. Or they're going to say it was not. It was caught. It looked like it hit the ground. It was a sliding attempt by Bernard. And Tenney is retired. It looked like it definitely hit the ground out there in right field. The call was made by Ben Levin. There's one away, or two away, excuse me.
A little special note on a league that we both have history in, the Midwest Collegiate League. And one of the new teams this year, the Chicago American Giants, named after that franchise.
I actually did not see that. But very cool. As Connor Crane takes outside and low. One thing that was really cool about Foster was if teams in the league were short on money, he, out of his own pocket, helped other teams keep things going. As the 1-0 pitch, a swing and a miss, strike one, 1-1. The league originally operated mainly in Midwestern cities. Eventually did expand to the south with Birmingham, Alabama, Memphis, Tennessee. But originally Kansas City to Pittsburgh was kind of the radius when the league first started. From 1920 to 1924, as this pitch hits Connor Crane in the helmet with a 90-mile-an-hour fastball, and Crane's going to walk down to first base. And now Chad Reardon will come out and have a look at Crane, who jogs down to first, and it looks like he's okay, but you always got to double check, especially in a scary moment like that.
Yeah, anything up there, no matter whether it hits the helmet or not, it's not going to feel good, and it's going to spook you a little bit. Sure hope he's all right, because he's another one of those guys that's just now starting to see that ball well after a couple stints on the injured list. Never fully healthy, and he's just starting to feel really, really good. He's been running the bases well. And
as Chad Reardon came back, but now I think Brian White wants them to have another look at Crane. Brian White must have saw some type of bodily language to tell Chad Reardon to go back.
Always want to make sure.
And now Crane will stay in the game. So Connor Crane hit by a pitch up in the helmet. He's at first, and now Taylor Bryant will come to the plate. But a good sign that Crane's still in there. So the tying run at the plate. Again, only the second inning. It's 5-3. As the first pitch, a strike. It's 0-1. No balls and one strike. Two outs in the inning, a runner at first. The pitch, Bryant takes a strike. It's 0-2 at 88. So Andrew Rube Foster, the founder of the Negro Leagues. As the 0-2 pitch is low for a ball, Connor Crane decides to go as it gets away from the catcher, De La Rosa. The throw to second, not in time. As Crane will take second base. So Crane gets into scoring position, a nice piece of base running. It was a nice throw from De La Rosa, but Crane had to make the split decision. Am I going to go? Because it only got a couple feet in front of the catcher. Made the right choice. Crane at second base now. A 1-2 count on Taylor Bryant. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Bryant takes low for ball 2, 2-2. Two balls and two strikes. Pilarski on the mound, comes set at the belt. The 2-2. Hit on the ground to the shortstop, Callahan. On a couple bounces, Callahan has it. Side-on throw to first, again in the dirt, and another scoop by Gray for out number 3. So the Yalls leave one man on. No hits in the inning for Florence. We're going to the third inning. It's 5-3 Crushers on the Florence Yalls Baseball Network.